Hello there, welcome to Monkey Drone Collective, and today's little video is all about this little gizmo gadget type thing. Not the blaster, but what's attached to it. This is a Spyder quick draw tool holster. It's intended for use with power tools and things, and you kind of clip it onto your belt. There's this little Velcro belt that then goes around the handle of the power tool with a kind of knob on it, which kind of slides into place there and locks in place, holstering your, what's supposed to be for a power tool, but I'm using it for a blaster in this case. I've seen these have been about for years. I actually remember seeing Nerfers run these for, I can't remember who it was, when it was. I've got a feeling I saw somebody at the last big HVZ event running at least one of these, maybe a couple, and I'm sure I've seen them talked about years ago. And I remember thinking, it's quite cool, but then I'd been recently looking at getting some Fedlock mounts for a couple of blasters, and then this just kind of popped up on my search for various things, and I thought, that's quite cool. Fedlock's definitely really cool. It's the kind of magnetic clips. You'll see a lot of blasters, they have side plates on them, and then they lock into a kind of male and female base plates, one on the blaster, one on your gear, and they lock it solidly in place, and they use kind of magnets and a locking mechanism. It keeps it very sturdy, very safe, but they're quite expensive even to buy the parts yourself and make it. I mean, just to buy the Fedlock parts is about £30, and then you need the specifically 3D printed parts for your blaster and for the gear as well. So unless you've got a 3D printer, which I don't, you're then having to commission somebody to make them and do that. And then this popped up, I just thought I'll give it a try, and this costs £15, so less than half the price, and it does a fairly good job. It's not as solid. When I say not as solid, I mean there's a lot of movement, and you'll see in the video at the front I was jumping about and shaking it about, and there's a lot of movement and stuff, and the blaster can spin around and stuff, but the blaster will generally sit in the same position, just balance wise and the weight of it, and it's in a usable position to grab it and draw it quickly. If you're running about a lot, I could see this rattling about and annoys some players, but I'm not a player that sprints around a lot, so I don't see that affecting me as much. So I think this might be quite a good kind of budget solution for a kind of quick draw blaster holster. I have been using kind of converted Bofranders to holster blasters over the last couple of years, but then they obviously have the Velcro flap over, so you're having to lift the Velcro flap, tuck that away, and draw the blaster, and then reholstering the blaster. If the pouch has kind of collapsed in itself, it takes you a second to open up the pouch and get the blaster back in there, and then you have to seal the Velcro flap over, so they're not exactly quick draw at that point unless you have it ready to go. But then at that point you're risking the blaster falling out if you do have to move fast or jump or run about. So I feel this is better in that sense, although it is going to rattle about a bit more than the blaster being holstered as well. So yeah, there's pros and cons to it, but I think I'm going to give this a try at a couple of games and see how I get on with it. There is also one major thing, is you have this massive nub sitting at the side of your grip. But as long as if you have this blaster mounted on your right hand side, and you draw it with your right hand, you're using it right handed, it doesn't affect you, it's not in the way. If you switch to your left hand, the blaster's still usable, but that is in the way and it's quite uncomfortable. So it doesn't make you, it kind of renders your blaster being non-ambidextrous at that point. You'd have to use it with the side you've drawn it on. So if you're running two of these, you'd have to have a left hand one and a right hand one, and they wouldn't be able to swap about. You'd have to keep them in the same blaster, in the same holster, on the same side, or else that's going to get in the way. I'm thinking I might pick another one of these up and use two of them at the next HVZ event later this year, and just have run the two Flyco blasters. I'd just have to have one left, one right. But I think that'd be a good solution for that. They are pretty quick draw, as you saw in the video. Just messing about with these for half an hour or so in the garden, I really got the hang of it. The unit comes in two parts, so you have this Velcro part here, which goes around the handle or the grip. I'll take this off here. It's a pretty strong industrial Velcro. It's got a bit of elastic. It's kind of elasticated there as well. There's an elasticated section there, so it really does get a good bit of tension around the grip, and it's been solid. They also supply you with some cable ties, so once you've got it in place, you can then do cable ties around it as well to really lock it into place. And then it comes with the mounting part here. My heating's just gone, I'm just going to shout. It comes with the mounting part here, which has a lock on it. When you slide this in, it locks automatically, so it can't come out. And then when you draw the blaster up, you just stick your thumb out, you clip the unlock mechanism there, and it just slides out. And as I say in the video there at the beginning, I was doing that effortlessly with very little practice, and it worked really well. As you see, I tried this with a couple of different blasters, a couple of different Flyco blasters, a Venom Pro, and I even put it on a Strife, just to show that you can use it with some bigger blasters and use it as a kind of secondary holster, not just for some smaller sidearms. So yeah, all in all, pretty happy with this. Obviously, I've not used it in a game. See how it goes. On the inside of this strap as well, it does have kind of textured rubber nodules, which also add an extra bit of grip, especially against the 3D printed blasters. It really does provide quite a solid grip on there, and I'd be quite happy running this without the cable ties on it. I reckon it'd be secure enough. The belt clip is a sprung steel. It's very, very strong. These are very well made. They're obviously made to take kind of heavier power tools compared to what we're using as a sidearm foam blaster. So they're designed to take much more weight, so I can't see that being a problem. I've also tested the belt clip on Molly, and it will fit into a single Molly loop quite solidly as well, so you could attach this to Molly on your gear, so you can have it on a chest rig, on a drop leg, on belts, anything. I'd probably just going to use this on a belt clip, maybe on my rig, maybe on just on a belt if I'm running a light loadout. So yeah, quite happy with this. I think I'm going to pick up another one at least. It'd be good to have some spares, some spare grip things, so I could just have them on different blasters ready to go. So if I'm at a game, I can just swap the blasters about without having to bother swapping this about, and then obviously just have the base plates attached to my gear. But yeah, quite happy with that. If you're in the market, if you looked at Fedlog and thought it was expensive, I think this is a budget option. There's some pros and cons to it, definitely. But as a kind of entry-level, kind of quick draw holster, very minimal, very lightweight, very minimal gear, looks quite cool. I think it's a good plan. Available online. I think I paid £15 for this. You can get them. Not sure if you get them at hardware shops, but definitely I think I can pick this one up off eBay. There are some other kind of no-brand versions as well, which are a little bit cheaper, or like they did multiple packs, so you can get 3 or 4 of them for a cheaper price. But yeah, Spider seems to be the kind of most recognisable brand, and I'm pretty impressed with the quality of this. And I think it'll definitely last. Can't wait to give it a try in the game. Anyway, worth checking out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube, over on Facebook and on our Instagram. And we'll see you later. Thank you.